If you are new here, welcome. I hope you'll hit that subscribe button and come with us on our journey. So today my video is very easy. I am going to show you how I achieve my base. I get questions on how do you contour, bronze, foundation, so on and so forth. And this is how I do it. I do not use full coverage because I actually like my freckles and so on and so forth. So this is the base I achieved, and my eye look is from the Love Struck by Profusion. This palette is beautiful. $12 at Walmart. Look at those shades. They're going to be so fun for spring. So that's what's on my eyes. And if you want to see how I get my base, then just keep watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever tickles your fancy, because it will help YouTube know that you want to see my videos. Don't forget to hit the bell so you can also know any and every time I upload, which hopefully will now be often. So just stay tuned. So today I have been asked many times, how do you get a flawless base? So I'm going to show you what I do. I'm not a full coverage person, but today I'm going to probably do a more full coverage foundation than I normally do. I am kind of a tinted moisturizer, light coverage, because I live in Florida and it's very hot. You do not want a heavy base when you're going to be hot. So the first thing is extremely important is hydrating. Making sure your face is hydrated. The first thing I do is I go in with just a moisturizer. This is the Murad one. I think we got it in one of our boxes recently. So that, or I use my Drunk Elephant. Just keep the skin nice and moisturized. I have dry skin, so I need all the help I can get. If you have oily skin, you still want to keep your face nice and hydrated. And the reason why is because when you have oily skin, the oil is producing because the face is not hydrated enough. So that is something that a lot of people don't understand. Then I go in with my Wet n Wild primer spray. Just want to get the face nice and moisturized. I used a new skincare product and I got something there, there, and there. So apparently my skin did not like it. It was a clay mask. I think I might have gave it away already. That was not good for my skin. Okay, so next I go in with primer. Sorry, excuse the angle. I'll go in with the Pore Filling Primer. C-Color Cosmetics is one of my favorite. And then I go in with a hydrating primer, and e.l.f. happens to be my favorite. So first I'll go in with the hydrating primer. Just that much. And I put it more towards the outside of the face to start. And then I bring it in. And up under the eye, I always prime because it helps with any creasing that you might get under your eyes. Then I'll go in with the Pore Filling Primer where I have big pores, which is right there. Right there, a little on my chin, and a little bit on my forehead right here. And then I take that and I push it in. Want to make sure you're all set. Now normally I would do my eyes next and let that primer sit and soak into the face. So I'm going to do my eyes real quick and then we'll come back and finish the base. I just did a quick eye look using the Love Struck palette from Profusion. And this is what I came up with. So back to the base. So after I've got my primer all nice and set into the face and my pores are filled and everything is how we want it, we're going to go in with our foundation. Just take a beauty blender. I do not soak it. I simply spray it a couple times to get it a little wet, because I don't really like a very wet beauty blender. Then I go in with a foundation. Today I'm going to be using the Believe Beauty foundation. It is in the shade Ivory. I take two little pumps on the back of my hand. And I dab my beauty blender into it. And I start to put it on my face. I start down here because this is where I want more coverage. And then I work up towards my forehead. Just patting it into the skin. Like that. My hair wants to sit in my foundation today. Just like that. Up into the ear. Down the neck. Just like that. Now, like I said, I start at the bottom of my face and then go up to my forehead. That way I'm not applying a lot of product. And you don't want a lot of product under your eyes, otherwise it will get creasy. We don't want creases under the eyes. We've already got enough going on with aging. And I don't put a lot on my nose either, because I don't want it to settle in around here and be too much. I just want to keep pressing it into the skin. Take your time. If you are a brush person, you can also do this with a brush. I am not a brush person. It does not work for me. I always find streaks and creases and everything under the sun wrong when I use a brush. And I don't like a really wet beauty blender either, because I find it picks the product up too much. A dry one doesn't pick it up enough, so just a little bit of a damp one. And then we've got our foundation all pressed in. Make sure you go up into your hairline so you do not have that separation. And that is how I start my base. Next, I go in with concealer. I don't use a lot of concealer, because if not, then under my eyes, you see I already have plenty of creasing. I'm going in with the Age Rewind Brightening. It's just a little bit lighter than my foundation. Don't use a whole lot. And I just take the other side of the beauty blender and I push it in. When you're pushing it in, you want to bring it up. Just like that. So we're bringing our eyes up instead of down. You just want to push that in, just like that. Now we got bright under eyes. We're concealed. Everything's covered. And that is the concealer foundation. Now, if you want more coverage to cover up these blemishes, just go in with your concealer, dab it on, and then what I do is I take my finger and I push it in. That way we're not picking up the product with a sponge. Then, next we would go in with powder. I do not use a lot of powder because, as I said, my skin is very dry. So I go in under the eye, very little, with my Milani in the shade Nude. Put a little powder on the thing and press. That's it. Just a little bit like that and press. I do not bake. After 40, the only baking you should do is in the kitchen, because otherwise it will make your skin look worse than it needs to. Then I take a loose setting powder. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. And I take, and before I open it, I just, like this, and then whatever's in the lid is what I use. Take a big fluffy brush. This is from BH Cosmetics. Dip it into the powder and just stipple it in to the rest of my face. Very little powder. Why? Because as we age, less is more. Less is certainly more. So that is our base. Now I'm going to show you how I bronze, blush, highlight. I do occasionally contour, and when I do, I use a cream contour. But for today, I'm just going to show you how I bronze and blush. I'm using this bronzer. It's from Lovecraft. And I'm going to take an angled brush. Ignore my cat in the background. Dip in, tap off. I take at the top of my ear and I bring it down to where my pupil. So just like that. See? It lifts it up, and then I blend up into the hair like that. Just like that. You want to build that up. You can always lighten it. We're going to go up into the temple of the forehead, brushing it back into the hair, just like that. We're bronzing it up. Then we're going to bring it down just a little bit. Not a lot. We don't want a big shadow. Just like that. Up behind the ear a little bit and on the jawline. So we're bringing the face up. Do you see that? Okay, we're going to do the other side. Tip of the ear down to about where your pupil is. See that? And then if you do that, we lifted the face. And we're going to go up into the hairline, up to the temple, and blend. Just like that. Remember, blend up. We don't want to blend down because that would pull our first face down. We want to blend up into the hairline. And then lightly, with whatever's left on our brush, down to the jawline. Just like that. A little bit under here. And that is how we bronze. Up like that. I don't bring it down. Now, if you want a more defined contour, you just take your powder, try to open it a little bit like that on your beauty blender, and you go from there down. That's it. Like that. And then you've sharpened up your line. So next, for blush, I like to go in with a more taupey kind of blush, like that. No sparkle in it. And I'm going to take this blush brush. This is by Beauty Basics. I believe you can get this at Walmart for like $2. Dip into the blush. Right above the cheek. You don't want to smile. A lot of people tell you smile, but when you smile and you put it on and then your face relaxes, the blush is too low. So right where you start that contour and dab up. I like to bring it a little bit on my nose, just like that. Then for highlight, it depends on what you got going on. If you're going out, you want to highlight to the gods, great. If not, you want a daily natural highlight, then I'll show you what I do. Okay, I'm going to go in with my Makeup Revolution highlighter palette. Got 3 shades in here. You got like a green, a gold, and like a rose. What I do is I base it what I have on my eye. So I'm going to take this brush. This is from Shop Miss A. It's their F19 highlighter brush. And I'm going to go in with the rose shade. I start here because down here I have texture. Start here and bring it up. Just like that. Right here and up. A little bit on the nose. A little bit on the Cupid's bow. A little bit up here. We want for the reflection to hit where it naturally would. Just like that. And I normally take whatever highlight I'm using on my eye and I highlight my inner corner. So that's what we're going to do. Just on a little brush like this. Close in the inner corner. A little bit under the brow. Just re-intensifying. And that is how you do highlight. Now you can wet your brush for a more intense highlight or use a more intense highlight. Then the final step is setting spray. I have no idea where mine is. Par for the course. Just gonna go in with this. Get this hair out of the way. Now once I do that, I take my beauty blender and I just push everything in. That's it. And that is my base. Just like that. For me, this is how I do my base. You can do what suits you. Use whatever foundation suits you. Highlighter, blush, bronzer. I'm simply doing what I do. So I'm going to finish up my eyes. And I will see you in the next video. Until next time, let's build each other up, be proud of who we are, and always stay beautiful. Much love.